how's it going? It's been a month now, so I have to do my monthly update for the movies that I got within the last calendar month. I don't think this month is as good as last month's. I mean, I can be the judge down the line, or even the more I kind of think about it. But I think on the surface, just looking at this pile, I think last month was just a smidge better. Just a smidge. This is like the month of Adam Sandler. That's all I'm gonna say. I kind of went on like an Adam Sandler spree, where I collected a lot of the movies that I had remaining, like this Bedtime Stories, which I rewatched for the first time since I was probably 9 years old, and it was pretty terrible. And I guess it's for children, but I'm probably not rewatching this very often. But it was on eBay for I think $4, and everywhere else it's like 20 something dollars. So I just figured, okay, I probably won't rewatch it very often, but if I have kids someday, it'll be a nice movie to just have kicking around. RV. My girlfriend bought this, actually. I don't really know why she felt like she should buy it, but I'm glad she did, because I rewatched it, and I had a pretty good time. I watched this a lot when I was a kid, and it had been probably 15 years since I'd watched this, roughly, and it was a nice little rewatch. Love me some Robin Williams. It's nothing special. It's a pretty cliche family comedy. Even Jeff Daniels is pretty funny in it. Love me some Jeff Daniels. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I had not seen this until I bought this on DVD. I think it was 2 weeks ago I got this, and I enjoyed the movie. It was not as good as people play it up to be. I'm sure the book's better. I didn't love the movie. It was good. It had its scenes, but to me, I would prefer watching like a Shawshank Redemption or a Midnight Express. Like, there's plenty of other prison movies that I can think of, prison escape movies I can think of where I'd rather watch those, but this is still a good one. I like that you find it at the end, it was never really about Jack Nicholson. I love movies that have those little twists where, you could see it coming a little bit, but at the same time, it's cool. It's a cool. Now, I don't buy these Clipper cases very often, but Bloodsport is in such low quantity everywhere in terms of the print. This is the only really readily available version of the movie. I bought another one of these a month ago, and it was in such rough shape that I had to go and buy another one. This one's not in much better shape, but it'll do for now until I can scrunch together and get myself a decent paying job in the future where I can actually afford to go out and buy movies that are kind of on the expensive side. Like this is on Blu-ray for $100 pretty much, so I can't justify doing that for one movie. I love Bloodsport a lot. This is one of my favorite Van Damme movies, but this will just have to do for now. This really bothers me that they put a sticker right where the Bloodsport is. So you could put it anywhere else, and they put it right over the logo. Anger Management, it's still sealed. I don't know how long it will be sealed, but I've seen this enough that I don't really need to rush to open it. It's one of my favorite Adam Sandler movies for sure. Jack Nicholson was hilarious in this movie. I didn't expect this to be as funny as it was. And it's Woody Harrelson plays a crossdresser, and I'll never forget just how random and hilarious that whole thing is. Keeps popping up in the movie, and it's like, what's going on? But yeah, this is one of the more crude Adam Sandler movies, I'd say. Is this rated R or 14A? I don't even know. I can't tell anymore. As you become an adult, you kind of stop noticing those types of things. It's PG! You've got to be kidding me. It feels more vulgar. Maybe it's just me. I Spit on Your Grave. This is the remake. I like this movie, even though it's really messed up and gross. The first half I don't really like watching, but I love watching a good revenge movie. And seeing her get revenge on the guys that did some terrible shit to her is very satisfying. And I just think the performances are kind of underrated. For a horror movie, I was not expecting to get as invested as I did in this whole story. So I had to buy this. This was only $8, and I was like, I kind of need to get this. I'm not going to watch it very often, because like I said, it makes you feel really gross and blech. But when you do watch it, the end is satisfying watching all those guys suffer. We've got Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the only one I'll probably ever own, unless my girlfriend makes me get the new one at some point with Johnny Depp. It's not even the newest one anymore, is it? Because Timothy Charlemagne, or whatever his name is, was Wonka, I should say. I love this movie. I'd seen it once when I was a kid, in bits and pieces. I missed some of it. And then I finally just got up the courage to, I'm watching this, and I think it was like a week or two ago, and I love this movie. I really do. I knew all the songs already, so putting an image to a lot of the songs was very nice. And I just think it's one of the better musicals ever made. This is back when movies were just better. This is also kind of a dark movie. You don't get kid movies like this anymore that adults can watch and gain something from watching. Now you just watch these slop kid movies that come out and it's like, what's going on? What are we watching here? Gene Wilder, one of the greats. I just love that scene where he comes out with his cane, and that was all improvised, and then he does this ta-da, and then from then on you don't know what to expect with him. So that was a very good call on his end. Masterpiece. All right, so I got Up, and I got Wall-E as well, which I'll show after. But I had to buy these twice. So there's a website called Thrift Books, and I don't know what happened, but I ordered them, and they came in the worst shape. I should go grab them and show because they're over there. I still keep the discs. Why not? The discs were not harmed, but the cases were like in pieces, and something clearly happened to the package. So I had to go and buy these again. This movie made me cry quite a bit when I rewatched it. I hadn't seen it in 10 years. This was one of my favorite Pixar movies when I was a kid, but it had been since probably 2015 since I sat down and said, I'm watching the whole movie front to back. And yeah, it made me cry. When you turn into an adult, these kid movies become very hard to watch because you start thinking about life and all these things that you didn't even ponder about when you were a child. You just watched the movie and enjoyed the visuals and la 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 la. But yeah, so it's a very good movie, but also very sad. And Wall-E. I like this movie, but I don't think I'd say it's in my top 5 Pixar movies. I don't love it. It's good. I don't know. I don't have much to say about it. I don't know. I rewatched it when I got it, and it was good. It's just I always feel like I'm expecting more from this movie. I think this is one of the more visually stunning Pixar movies. I love all the outer space stuff, and I just love the way Earth looks after it's all destroyed and we've left it behind. Something about the first 15, 20 minutes of this movie is very relaxing when he's just cleaning up trash with his little cockroach friend. But beyond that, I kind of lose interest. Once Eve shows up, Eva, it kind of all takes a nosedive for me. But that first 20 minutes, I love it. Okay. Catch Me If You Can. I don't know why I had never gotten around to buying this on Blu-ray or even DVD, but it just always seemed to never be around. And this is the Spanish version. There is an American version, but it was way cheaper to buy the Spanish version, which is just the same. You can put American subtitle or the American language on there, so it's you don't lose anything by buying the Spanish version except for the packaging's in Spanish. I love this movie. This is probably I'd say one of the last 2 or 3 Spielberg movies that are really worth watching. Minority Report, and War of the Worlds. Those are probably like the last 3 I can think of where it's like, yeah, those are good movies. This is probably the best of those 3. The only thing I can't really buy in this is DiCaprio's like a 16-year-old in the first bit of this movie. It's like, okay, like I know he looks young, but 16, come on. I saw this as like a 15, 16-year-old, and I just couldn't see myself doing what and I know it is based off reality, but DiCaprio certainly did not look 16 here. Tim Hanks, great performance. Yes, I called him Tim Hanks. If you've seen the Family Guy episode, you know what I'm saying. Tom Hanks. It's one of his better performances. Yeah, the ending's kind of depressing though when he gets busted, and it's on Christmas, right? And it's all sad and somber. Pretty in Pink. Not one of my favorite John Hughes movies, but I really do like it. I'd say it's comfortably in my top 6, 7. I don't really know how many John Hughes movies there even are, but it was good enough for me to get this steelbook, which on the back has one of the lines from the movies. I just wanted them to know that they didn't break me. How dramatic. But yeah, I think I like this more than 16 Candles. Just a little bit. Maybe I'm crazy in thinking that, but this is the more adult movie of the 2. 16 Candles is more wacky, woohoo, woohoo, and that's fine. It's just this movie has more adult themes going on, with her kind of like parenting her dad through all this shit. It's kind of depressing, you know? It's kind of a sad movie, but at the same time, and Ducky doesn't get his love in the end. Like, obviously, he gets to dance with that chick, but we know that goes nowhere. If you've ever been in any of those situations in real life when a girl goes, you know it's not going anywhere beyond that night, so yeah, he loses the love to some rich kid, which it's not a very good message, but it's the realistic message at least. It doesn't lie to you. All right. Oh god, someone slid out. A Bug's Life. Again, not one of my favorite Pixar movies. It's a good movie. I saw it a lot when I was a kid. My grandma owned the VHS, and I remember she put this on to distract me a lot. And yeah, I can see why in the early 2000s this was a popular movie, but now the animation's sort of dated. It's like watching the first two Toy Stories. It's no fault of their own. It's just technology has gotten so good within the last 15 years, with the animation side of things in particular, that watching these old Pixar movies, I'd even say the first Incredibles, you could throw that in there, they look kind of rough. A little bit. You know, it's a little bit rough. I love them still, but they've definitely aged. And I don't know, I just don't really care about the characters in this movie. Maybe I'm alone there, but Flick, I never cared about him, ever. And, yeah, they don't even show anybody on the back, really. One of these boring Disney cases that I think it's cheaper to buy it that way with just like a face on it than the whole thing. Horton Hears a Who. This is a guilty pleasure. I don't know if people out there hate this movie or not, but it was like $3 in the animated section at the store that I go to, which has pretty heavily priced animated movies, anywhere from 15 to 35 to $40. So this being $3 to $4 was just kind of, maybe an indication of the movie's quality. I've always thought it was funny. It's definitely sloppy in its narrative and stuff, but I like it. I don't know. It's a fucking kids movie. If you're watching this and you're going, oh, here's who's stupid, maybe you're the stupid one. Okay, it's a fucking dumb kids movie that's supposed to just entertain us, and it definitely entertained me when I was a kid. So it did its job, and Jim Carrey is good in this. I'm not a huge Steve Carell fan, but he's fine in this. So yeah, I'll probably rewatch this in short order. Back to my Adam Sandler theme, Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore, so a double feature. I'll probably buy these individually at some point on Blu-ray, but it was just such a good deal. It was $14 for these two on Amazon, so I'm not going to spend $14 on two individually, spend $28 rather than just getting them both together. Something about this does bother me with movies that I really like this. So I'm going to have to probably split them up and buy them individually at some point, but like I said, for now, it is what it is. I've still yet to see these on Blu-ray on my TV or anything. I've only seen them on streaming and my old fucking full-screen DVDs. Maybe it's just because I don't know, but I never noticed that they were full screen. Because they said special editions on them, my cases, so I just assumed, special edition, that must mean that they're widescreen and up to date. No, they're full screen. So especially Billy Madison, which is one of my favorite comedies ever, I needed that on Blu-ray. So still didn't take the stickers off this and the next one, but I'll get there. I just got this today. Mr. Deeds. I already own this at some point, but I have to rebuy this. I don't know where it went. I don't have a clue. But yeah, it's not one of my favorite Adam Sandler movies. It's okay. Winona Ryder's kind of shitty in this movie. Her character is just horrible. And really the saving grace is, what's his face? John Turturro. I love John Turturro. Some would say he got a little too wacky with his characters there for a while, like in Transformers, but I enjoy his more comedic roles. But yeah, this is like, I kind of like the concept. Getting gifted $40 billion from an ancestor you didn't even know you were related to. It's kind of interesting, It's, I don't know, I kind of like that concept, but they just didn't really do anything interesting with it, unfortunately. The only Adam Sandler movie I can think of that I haven't seen yet, besides like Spanglish, which I got that this month. I don't really feel like even showing it because I got 5 minutes in and it was like the movie is not for me. Let's just say that much. I just put that on my girlfriend's shelf and pretty much chalked it up as she can watch that if she wants. If not, whatever. The Wedding Singer, which I've always wanted to see. I don't really know why I've never gotten around to this. It's kind of insane to me that I've seen every other Adam Sandler movie multiple times over, and this is one that I've never seen. I'll probably watch this tonight, actually. It's it looks entertaining. I don't know what to expect. I just know that there's like some singing scenes and obviously Wedding Singer. Could you be more obvious? Jesus, but I do like their chemistry in 50 First Dates, so I'm sure it'll be good. Kickboxer, Steelbook. I love this movie. I have a Van Damme like 1980s obsession when it comes to these movies, and early 90s Time Cop, and Lionheart. Like there's five movies I'd say of his where I've rewatched them an unhealthy amount. I really love Jean-Claude Van Damme. I think people kind of sleep on his ability, especially just the fact that he's so talented with his actual stunt work. I could watch that shit all day. His acting's okay, but it's the fact that his stunt work's so incredible. It's like Jackie Chan. The acting is all right, but it's just getting to the stunts that's fun. You get to the stunts, you're just completely mesmerized at how fucking talented this dude is. It's the same with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm always in awe of how talented he is, especially back in that day. He's still extremely flexible for his 60s, but back in his prime here, he was a badass. And yeah, Kickboxer, super great movie. Go watch it. And then we got left. We've got 4 left. All right. So we've got Grown Ups 2, which probably will stay sealed for a long time because it's Grown Ups 2. But it was on sale, and again, I was trying to collect all my Adam Sandler movies and get them all up to. I think I need Little Nicky, and I can't think of. There's maybe another one that I'm missing, but I'm not getting like Uncut Gems. None of those newer movies, just his older comedies. And this was one that I kind of always pushed off. I didn't ever like Grown Ups 2. I don't think anybody really did. It's got some entertaining bits, obviously, but Rob Schneider not being in this was an instant blow to it. He's my favorite character in the first movie. His wig blown around and all that shit, hilarious. His relationship with an old lady is just hilarious. So to not have him in this was pretty painful, but at the same time, you know, it was fun to see these guys together again. You can tell they're just having a good time. His friends just chilling and hanging out and recording a movie and kind of just recording themselves doing everyday things that they'd be doing if they weren't filming. So I hope they make a third Grown Ups. I've heard that they're going to eventually. It's apparently going to be like a winter movie or something. So I hope that actually happens because I feel like that's like a money-making... You're going to make a fuck ton of money. You know? I'd go see that in the theaters for sure. The first Grown Ups, which is a much better movie than the second one. And there's still people online like, it's a terrible movie. Blah. I don't know what you're going into these types of movies expecting, but this gave me exactly what I needed when I was 10 years old. When this came out, 9 years old. I remember seeing this. It was a late night, the last showing, 9:30 p.m. or whatever, at my local theater with my dad, and I'll never forget it. It was one of those theaters, or memories, where I went to the theater, and I'll never forget it. And I love the whole 80s throwback vibe, where... I don't know, they're kind of stuck in the past, some of these characters, and I don't know, I've kind of always loved movies where these people can't move on, and you get to kind of go through a journey with them and see them kind of grow up in the movie. They kind of all do that a little bit to a certain extent. Even Lenny, who's rich, he kind of goes through a character arc where he stops being a piece of shit a little bit. I know it's kind of a predictable movie, but I don't know, I just enjoy these guys all together. Alright, we're down to the last 2 now. So I think I showed this in my last video, which was Guilty Pleasures. And I instantly got this on eBay because I needed the upgraded quality. I can't watch an action movie like this on DVD anymore. I just can't do it. Unless it's so bad that I don't need to own it on, like, Death Race. I'm sorry, I can't own that on Blu-ray. I just simply can't bring myself to spend $6 or $7 to upgrade that. It's okay on DVD. This, though, for how often I rewatch this movie, which is at least once a year, I needed this on Blu-ray, and it holds up, man. It's his best movie, in my opinion. This and Walking Tall, 2 of his early 2000 movies, are his 2 best, in my personal opinion. And, yeah, this is, like, one of the better treasure hunting movies up there with, like, The Mummy and Indiana Jones. So, if you haven't seen this, I don't know what you're doing. You gotta go see this at least once. I think it's a must-own. Maybe not on Blu-ray, but definitely on DVD. And lastly, Field of Dreams. Now, watching Field of Dreams, I would have never thought that it would have connected with me so deeply. But this movie hit me in a way that I was just like, I bawled multiple times when watching this. Kevin Costner movies just have a way of like pulling at my heartstrings. This and The Bodyguard might be the 2 hardest I've ever cried watching a movie, and I can't even tell you why. Like, there's just certain scenes that make you cry that I was just wondering why I'm even crying, but they're just so beautifully done. And I'm glad they never tried to make like a Field of Dreams 2 or anything. Maybe they did and I'm just not aware of it, but I'm glad that I'm not aware of any of the sequels that ruin anything here. It's got the same magic that The Sandlot had, and then they went and ruined that with like 4 sequels. So I'm glad that this is just like a standalone movie. Oh, just thinking about it's making me emotional. It's just such a great film. I think everybody's got to see this once, even if you don't like baseball. Put anything in replacement of baseball. You know, hockey, soccer, life, family, anything, and it all kind of connects. It all makes sense. It's a beautiful movie. So that was this month's haul of films, mostly Blu-rays. Yeah, it's usually like a 50-50 between DVDs and Blu-rays. This month was like primarily Blu-rays, so hope you enjoyed. I'll be back next month, which probably will be a little bit lighter than this. Every month will probably get lighter from here because I'll need less and less movies, right? Like I don't need to buy everything. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.